Hello, and welcome back to Sleepytime Fairy Tales, children's bedtime stories and meditation designed to make bedtime a dream. On a little round hill, where the grass was as green as a brand new crayon, there was a very special farm. It wasn't a big, noisy farm with loud tractors, but a quiet, peaceful place where the only sounds were the rustling of leaves and the gentle buzzing of sleepy bumblebees. This was the home of Farmer Silas and his beloved family of rabbits. Farmer Silas believed that a happy home made for happy rabbits. He had built each hutch himself, sanding the wood until it was smooth and painting them in cheerful colors. He made sure every bed was filled to the brim with the sweetest hay, creating a soft and fragrant nest for his fluffy friends to dream in. Farmer Silas loved his rabbits more than anything. He knew each one by name, from the tip of their twitching noses to the fluff of their cotton ball tails. He didn't raise them to sell. He cared for them because their gentle company filled his heart with a quiet, simple joy that was warmer than any summer sun. Every day, when the sun was high and warm, the rabbits would get to play in their very own meadow. It was a paradise of soft grass, sweet clover, and dandelion flowers. They would chase each other in playful games, their little feet making a soft pitter-patter on the earth as they explored their green and wonderful world. Among them was a little gray rabbit named Poppy. Poppy was the quietest of all the bunnies. She had fur the color of a stormy cloud and eyes that held all the wonder of a clear night sky. She loved the meadow, but she loved watching and thinking even more, always curious about the world around her. As the day began to yawn and stretch into evening, the sky would blush with shades of pink and orange. Farmer Silas would open the gate, and one by one, the rabbits would hop back to their cozy hutches, their bellies full of clover and their hearts full of happy memories from their day of play in the warm sun. But one night, Poppy couldn't sleep. The hay was soft, her tummy was full, and her brothers and sisters were already dreaming sweet bunny dreams beside her. Yet Poppy's mind was wide awake. She wiggled her nose, listening to the quiet sounds of the farm as it settled down for the night. Very carefully, so as not to wake anyone, she tiptoed through the hay and hopped to the door of her hutch. The night air was cool and smelled of damp earth and night-blooming jasmine. The world looked so different under the moon, painted in silver and shadows. What was keeping her awake? It was then that she saw it, a tiny dancing flame moving through the darkness. It was a lantern, and it was being carried by Farmer Silas. But what was he doing in the garden so late at night? Curiosity tickled Poppy's whiskers, and she watched, completely captivated by the mysterious light. Farmer Silas wasn't rushing. He moved with a quiet purpose, his boots making almost no sound on the soft soil. The lantern cast long, dancing shadows that made the lettuce leaves look like giant green waves. He wasn't harvesting vegetables. He was just walking. It was a quiet, peaceful patrol. He finally stopped at his favorite part of the garden, the carrot patch. The green tops were feathery and delicate in the lantern light. He knelt down, his old knees creaking just a little, and he set his lantern on the ground. The warm light made the whole patch glow with a gentle golden halo. As Poppy watched, the big silver moon climbed higher into the sky. It was as round and bright as a freshly polished coin. Its gentle beams poured down from the heavens, washing the farm in a soft, silvery light that made everything look brand new and magical, as if it were a scene from a fairy tale. And in this beautiful moonlight, Farmer Silas began his strange ritual. He didn't pull the carrots out. Instead, he gently patted the earth around them, tucking them in as if they were little babies in their earthy beds. Poppy had never seen anything like it. Then he began to whisper. His voice was too quiet for Poppy to hear the words, but the tone was soft and kind. He was speaking to the carrots, telling them secrets, sharing stories with the earth. It was a lullaby for the growing things, a quiet prayer under the watchful eye of the moon. In her mind, Poppy could almost hear what he was saying. "Grow sweet for my little friends," the wind seemed to whisper for him. "Let the moonbeams fill you with sugary light. Soak up all this silver magic so you can be the most delicious carrots in the whole wide world." Poppy's little heart was filled with a warm, happy feeling. She finally understood this wasn't just gardening. This was an act of love. Farmer Silas was tucking the carrots in, just like her mother tucked her in, and he was wishing them sweet dreams so they would grow sweet for her and her friends. After a few more moments of quiet whispering, the farmer stood up. He picked up his lantern, and with one last, satisfied nod at the sleeping carrots, he made his way back to the farmhouse, his little light disappearing into the warmth of his home. Poppy hopped back to her bed, her mind buzzing with what she had seen. The world felt bigger and more magical than it had before. She snuggled deep into the hay, no longer feeling restless, but filled with a peaceful excitement for the morning to come. The night passed in a blanket of quiet stars, and soon the sun began to peek over the hills, waking the farm with its warm, gentle fingers of light. It promised a beautiful new day, and for the rabbits, it promised a very special breakfast. The first thing Farmer Silas did that morning was go to his garden. He gently pulled the special carrots from the earth, their orange skins glowing in the morning sun. He brought them inside and washed them carefully, humming a cheerful tune as he prepared the morning feast. He placed the sparkling clean carrots into his favorite wicker basket. They weren't just ordinary carrots anymore. To Poppy, who was watching from her hutch, they looked like little wands of captured sunlight and moonlight, ready to be shared. The rabbits could smell them coming. The sweet, earthy scent drifted on the morning breeze, and a ripple of excitement went through the hutches. Noses twitched, ears perked up, and sleepy eyes grew wide. They knew their kind farmer was bringing them something wonderful. Farmer Silas opened each hutch, and with a smile, he said, "Good morning, my little friends. I have a special treat for you today." He handed the first carrot to Poppy, and as she took it, she looked up at him. Her eyes sang a thank you that words never could. Soon, the air was filled with the happy sound of crunching. Crunch, crunch, munch, munch. Every rabbit had a carrot, and they were the most delicious carrots they had ever tasted. They were crisp, they were juicy, and they were wonderfully sweet. Poppy took a bite, and her whole world was filled with sweetness. It tasted of the rich earth, the warm sun, and something more, something magical and silvery. It tasted like a moonbeam. It was a moon-kissed carrot, and it was the best thing she had ever eaten. As she finished the last bite, Poppy felt a warmth spread through her, a warmth that had nothing to do with the morning sun. It was the warmth of being cared for, of being loved. She knew in her little rabbit heart that she lived on the very best farm in the entire world. That day in the meadow felt even more special than usual. As Poppy hopped through the clover, she kept looking up at the big blue sky, imagining the moon that would soon return. The world was full of quiet magic, and she was lucky enough to have a farmer who knew its secrets. When evening came again, Poppy was not restless at all. As Farmer Silas came to say goodnight, she looked at him with sleepy, trusting eyes. He was their guardian, their friend, the whisperer to the carrots, the keeper of the moonlight magic. She snuggled down into her soft bed of hay and closed her eyes. She didn't need to wait for the stars tonight. She knew the moon was on its way to kiss the carrots, and she knew the farmer was watching over them all. Her heart was full, and she drifted off to sleep in seconds. And that night, Poppy dreamt she was hopping through a garden where the carrots glowed with a soft, silvery light, and the moon itself smiled down on her. On the little round hill, all was quiet, all was peaceful, and all the little rabbits were sleeping soundly. Thanks for your listening, and have a good night. Subscribe for more bedtime stories.